What you're about to watch is a small section of a longer conversation between Erin Meierotto, Director of Recruiting at Pro REA Staffing, and myself. We're talking about why we got rid of phone interviews and what we do instead. I hope you enjoy, and if you'd like to watch the full conversation, click the little tab above, or you'll find the link to the full interview in the description. Enjoy. We decided to get rid of phone interviews. And I don't think we've ever really debriefed on how that has changed our process and why we like it so much more. So, for anybody listening, we used to start with a phone interview, which is what most people do. You start with a phone interview, you go through, skills, experience. Are you in the right commute distance? Does the salary work? Like all the basics. And then you'd kind of listen for, did they seem like they have enough experience? Right. And then we would have them do a little skill test, and then we would move them on to video. And then we decided to just stop doing the first step. So do you want to kind of talk about your experience going right into the skill assessment and how that's changed our process?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I do not know why we didn't do this so much sooner. And the reason I love it is not only because we're getting better data, right? We're getting better data and we're getting better results because, let's face it, people trying to manage their day and stop for a 15 or 20-minute phone interview isn't always realistic. So we get a lot more feedback and a lot more candidates that are serious about the role and who can prove they have the skills that it takes or the attention to detail, right? The answers to the assessments that we're looking for and moving them forward. So I feel like not only is it more efficient for the candidates, but it's more efficient for us and it provides better results for everyone involved, especially at the end of the day.
Well, I also like that we get in writing as verified, this is my commute time. Yes, I'm good with this salary range. I mean, just some of those basics, like what is your license number if the license is required? So we don't have any confusion later on when then they go talk to our client and then they say, oh no, I really want X salary. And we say, no, we verified, but now they have a different story, right? So it's very clear. Everything in our process is like on video or captured in writing. And so there's just so much more transparency. And I really
Yeah,
love that.
I do too. And I think it's so transparent. I feel like a lot of our clients, they're busy doing their day to day, right? And oftentimes they are curious, how are we producing results or what are we doing to get those results? And because our process is so transparent, they're able to see each and every detail that we, provide to their candidates on behalf of their candidates on their behalf to get everybody to that end goal of working together.
Yes. And we've really worked hard for years to hone in the questions that we ask. And I think I always feel like I have to put a little asterisk when I share those skill assessments with a client, because you say, I know this looks really simple. We ask them to, for example, upload a calendar invite, but there are so many little steps in having them do that. Did they make a typo in what the calendar invite is supposed to say? Did they take a photograph and upload it, or did they take a screenshot? Can they follow basic instructions? Did they get
Exactly.
it for the right day and time? I mean, it's such a silly assignment, but so many people mess it up. And I think
It's very
from the
telling.
yeah, and then I think from the candidate perspective, I think it's really helpful to understand that we are looking at the whole picture. How long did it take you to do the assignment? How thorough were your answers? Did you fully answer? Not just did you get it right, but how did you answer the question? And so your conscientiousness really shows through in these assignments, and you just can't capture that when you use a standardized test. So if we had just used, a multiple choice, like automated screening tool, you just don't get the same results as actually reading somebody's assignment. Like, do you have any like memorable? I mean, like, every once in a while you'll send me an assignment that you're really excited about. I mean, somebody really like gave you context and really answered questions. How does that translate when you actually talk to those people on video?
Ooh, it shines through. They have a lot more confidence in their skill set. And you can tell it wasn't something that they just put little or no thought into, or maybe they utilized Chat GPT for nothing against your resources, right? But that's not the point of the process. So what I've noticed is that those candidates are often more excited about the role. They have more to offer and more details that they can share in the time that we spend together during our video interview. And it really makes them stand out because often we'll touch on those points that were really impressive that they completed in the skill assessment. And well, where did we come up with this? How did this come to be? What situation were you in that you had to go to, set extreme or so on and so forth to implement this particular concept to help drive your team forward? So it's really also a talking point. It's not just to make sure that, hey, you can answer these questions, you can do it in an error-free manner using grammar, punctuation, all of those things. We're really looking for the insight into what you're doing in your current role and why you're an asset to your current team and how you could be moving forward.
And I feel like we need to go back and explain what kind of questions we ask because we sort of jumped ahead. So, for an example, a typical question might be something around the lines of, tell me about a time when you identified a process or system that was inefficient and how you improved it and what was the outcome. So that would
Right.
be a short essay question that we would ask. And so we're looking for, did you actually answer the whole question? Not just this was the problem and what I did, but also what was the outcome? I mean, that piece is so key when you're interviewing. You have to tie it all together. And did you organize your thoughts in a cohesive manner? Did it take you 3 pages to write this, or were you able to concisely answer the question? All of this just gives us so much good information. And so we ask what? It depends on the role, maybe 3 to 5 questions. And we try to not let them be too lengthy. We're mindful of how long this could take somebody, but you get so much information from that assignment versus a 10-minute phone interview. It's just wild.
Yes, absolutely. And it's the skills that we're actually looking for. Most people can hold a conversation on the phone, right? That's a given. But when it comes to applying, the skills that you have, whether it be attention to detail, that you follow directions well, that you can take the lead, that you can communicate clearly in writing, these are far more valuable than being able to hold a simple conversation over the phone and give us so much more to work with.